Mm, Okay, so I know that my hair looks messy AF. I know I got a big zit right here, but I don't care. I, I'm just, I don't care. I'm having to keep an eye on her. Listen, she has a loud purr and she precious. Other than that, I hate cats, so let's jump into it. For those of you who have subscribed to me or are one of my 10 subscribers, which I don't care, hate me for having 10 subscribers, I don't care. Everyone has to start up somewhere. But if you are like below high school, you're not an adult, you're below high school, below middle school, anything, um, if you're in, since we're in quarantine, of course, one thing I will say is elementary students, enjoy it while you can. Same for preschoolers who may not see this in the future. Because if you can't tell, it says history period 1. And girls, I know it may sound embarrassing, but it's not. Sorry, that's my kitten back there. She won't stop making that noise, so just anyways, as I was saying before I was rudely interrupted by Izzy, it may sound embarrassing to the girls, but it's not. They just call it period for some reason because like you have multiple classes, like 7 or 8 classes, 6, like, okay, so and when I went to middle school, I had 6 classes. But for those of you who need help and have subscribed and may or may not want to learn anything, you might want to get a notebook and or at least a piece of paper. Pause the video because I'm gonna throw down some history so you can cheat because like, oh, I forgot to mention, sorry, I forgot to mention, you know, Izzy, could you not, thank you. Now that that's out of the way, a very important part of history, which I hate that they decided to throw it. Izzy, seriously, girl, this is not funny. So as I was saying before, I was rudely interrupted for the second time. Yeah, I know, she's a kitten, she's cute, but I'm starting to hate cats. I swear to God, child. Sorry, I don't really mean that, but whatever. So as I was saying, what I hate is that they want to make it friendly for all of you elementary students out there. Yes, they do. By saying All the Pilgrims and the Native Americans just had a friendly feast. They just sat down, ate together, taught each other how to do stuff. They were all happy-go-lucky after that. No, that's not how it went down. No. But yes, so I can see. Here's how it went down. Once I find the page, because I want to give you guys something from a source, not just from my perspective. So I heard the Pilgrims killed the Native Americans for their land, but so I'm not gonna worry about, since I'm not with you guys and I'm in class right now, I'm just gonna worry on both of you guys and try not to get annoyed by her.
I think somebody's talking on the phone and your microphone's on.
What's the meeting for with this join?
Well, if he asks you to join him, you will find out. Good. Alright. We're gonna review something. Sorry, that was sarcastic. Don't be scared if he asks you to come to meeting. It's fine. We just need to figure out what's going on with some people and not being able to submit assessments. So, all right, we're just gonna review this real quick, just again to expose you to this information again.
Just play with
so
that piece of
you
plastic.
start kind of noticing these things as you're looking at sheet music. It's gonna make life much easier later on when we're learning more about actually reading music.
Since I'm supposed to be doing music, I'm just gonna tell you.
Parts of a note.
If you can hear me over
that already know this stuff, this might not concern, you might not quite understand why we would go over this, but I will tell you as a teacher.
Okay, so I just muted them. So even though it's a teacher, I just put the thing off. Hopefully you guys can hear me. Hopefully. So in the fall of 1621, the Pilgrims celebrated their first successful harvest by firing guns and cannons in Plymouth, Massachusetts. The noise alarmed ancestors of contemporary Wampanoag nation who went to investigate. That is how Native people came to be present at the first Thanksgiving, says Ramona Peters, historic preservation officer of the Mashpee Wampanoag tribe, which suggests the fat paintings depicting Native Americans sitting down for bountiful and harmonious meal with colonial families is basically a lie. The Wampanoag people, men, were not really sure what they were being told was actually true, so they stayed around for a few days. They camped outside. So there was a lot of tension as well. All of these men warriors were next door in the woods at night in the dark close by. So this is all what this woman named Ramona Peters is telling us. Was telling them. While the Wampanoag might have shared food with the Pilgrims during this strange fact-finding mission, they also hunted for food. They were helping the Pilgrims, but they were also trying to find their bearings. What was actually eaten at that first Thanksgiving is far different from the turkey, mashed potatoes, and stuffing that grace many holiday tables today. So we're eating. We're not. So what I'm understanding is we're not really taking after them. We just came up with our own holiday and decided to call it Thanksgiving. Makes no sense, but I'm gonna keep reading. We know turkey was plentiful in Plymouth Colony, but we didn't know for certain that it was served at the meal. The likelihood is very strong, though. Mussels, lobster, and eel were available as well, and enjoyed by both the English and Wampanoag. So people do like lobster. I don't know about mussels. Mussels. I don't know if people eat that, whatever it is. But I know people do eat eel. I've never tried it myself. Lobster is either lobster or crab. I've tried. I didn't really care for it because it's just looking at the live creature and then just eating it. Just makes me uneasy. But then, like normal stuff that we eat or that we use for seasoning was there as well. So, like English gardens probably produce cabbages, carrots, cucumbers, collards, parsnips, turnips, beets, onions, radishes, lettuce, and spinach, as well as sage, thyme, parsley, marjoram, fennel, anise, and dill, along with cultivated beans, squashes, and pumpkins. So, that's not what I was trying to get to. It was something different. And this is gonna be what they say is an opinion, but all the adults I've talked to about this have said it's the truth, and including someone I look up to, that's my 8th grade history teacher. He said it was, he said he started talking about it. I didn't even know it until he said it. So this is the horrible truth, the horrible history of Thanksgiving. And this is written by someone who I don't know, but it's from someone's point of view. And it's an opinion, and it's in the New York Times, but it's nytimes.com. It's a paper. Hopefully you guys you can pause it. So yeah, so it starts out like this. When I was a child, Thanksgiving was simple. It was about turkey and dressing, love, and laughter. A time for the family to gather around and feast and be thankful for the year that had passed, and be hopeful for the year to come. In school, the story we learned was simple too, which is true. Pilgrims and Native Americans came together to give thanks. We made pictures of the gathering, everyone smiling. We colored turkeys and made them out of construction paper. We sometimes had a mini feast in class. I had that. Like, I literally did all of that. In second grade, we even had to do a little, like, poem and, like, we had to do as a class while the families sat. Sorry, I have to do warm-ups for my music class. I prefer humming than singing because I sound ugh when I sing. My family thinks I sound good. I say otherwise. Anyways, as I was saying, and if you guys are questioning what language I speak Americano, and then I can speak a little bit of Spanish because I'm like half German. I'm mixed, I guess you could say. So it was like, you took a test or whatever, I forgot what website it was on. Said I'm like 0% white, 95% like Hispanic, and then the rest of that is Caucasian, or like 37% Caucasian or something like that. And the rest is Hispanic. But yeah, even though I think I got the Caucasian's from my mother's side. The rest is from my dad's side. So, little fun fact about me. So as I was saying, yeah, we had to do like little poems and stuff in front of the families, and sometimes we had to dance and stuff. Like I remember one was, and there was like songs and stuff. I remember one was. I'm just gonna sing it because it's a song. Albuquerque, yes, Albuquerque, and it's better than it's mine. Anymore, best friend. You can get me up there and it's all again. My all cookie turkey and I'm up to proud of us. Albuquerque is a turkey and it's feathered and it's fine. And he wobbles and he wobbles. Texas in my mind. He's the best friend. You can get me up there and it's all again. Yeah, because they're like, it says like that they, the kids like saying that they're proud they have turkey as a pet, and instead of like killing him or her, not assuming genders, instead of killing him or her, wait, I think it's a him because it says he is the best pet you can get yet. So I'm just gonna say it's a he because it's what they make it sound like. Again, not assuming genders, but I think it might be a girl. 'Cause that's what I've always thought it was, like a girl getting a male turkey. But anyways, um what was I gonna say? Um oh yeah, and they and kids basically saying that instead of killing them and stuff and eating them, they have them as a pet and they have like regular food for dinner on Thanksgiving. Like, like in the songs, the Albuquerque is a turkey and he's feathered and he's fine and he wobbles and he's absolutely mine. It goes on to say, instead of having turkey mashed potatoes, we'll have spaghetti and meatballs instead. I'm gonna look it up and see if it's like a real song. Oh my god, I actually found the song. So I'm just gonna sing it real quick for you guys. And it's to the tune of Oh My Darling Clementine. So if you guys don't know that song, it's also one of my personal favorites. Um Oh my darling, oh my darling, oh my darling Clementine. I'm just gonna hum the tune. Oh, I remember that there is this one. I had the CD and it had Oh My Darling Clementine on it. And I gave it to my music teacher, and this one was also at my elementary. And I gave it to her and I said, it has Oh My Darling Clementine on it in case you want to use it for future use, like in case you want to use it for the Albuquerque turkey, so that way they know what tune it is. And she said, "Oh, okay." And so I gave it to her and she kept it. And yeah. But now I look at the at my elementary website and sadly all of the teachers that I knew gone. They just left, went their separate ways or went to different schools or retired. I don't know. I'm sad because I was actually looking forward to when I grow up going back and like just stopping by to say hi. And like some of them I know are really young, some of them are old. One like one or two I think were in their 50s. But I will say this, it was cool having a substitute for my third grade teacher because she was a drill sergeant. Okay, so here's the actual lyrics. Albuquerque is a turkey, and he's wild and he's fine. And he wobbles and he gobbles and he's all completely mine. He's the best friend you can get, yet better than a doggy cat. He's my Albuquerque turkey, and I'm walking proud of that. Albuquerque he's my turkey, he's so cozy in his bed. Oh, wait. Let me redo that. Albuquerque is a turkey and he's very, very smart. And when he wobbles and he wobbles and he's all so hard. He's the best thing you can get, better than a dog without. Albuquerque is my turkey and I'm awfully glad of that. Albuquerque is my turkey, he's so cozy and it's bed. Because for Thanksgiving dinner, we had scrambled eggs instead. So yeah, that's that one. Oh yeah. Okay, so I can't find it, but there's this. I don't know if I can find it. There's another one, and it's the pumpkin pie song. Okay, so I can't find it, but here's how it goes. Um, Pumpkin, pumpkin, pumpkin pie, come to look at me, my is the only way. Fly, eating pumpkin pie. Not mix and many clouds, only eating you and cows, yummy. I'm so you and I eat pumpkin pie. And then it goes on stuff. And then like a nice one to do during December is mittens and gloves, gloves and mittens, soft and warm, just like kitten will keep my fingers nice and snug, cozy as a big bear hug. Roar. And then I will not forget time when it's really chilly. Brr. I will be too freezing. That would just be silly. Mittens and mittens and gloves, gloves and mittens, soft and warm, just like kitten will keep my fingers nice and sweet, cozy as a big bed. What else was there? I mean, I'm in music class, so as long as I sing, I don't think it really matters. Oh, sure. I didn't realize you were there. Oh, so now you're not gonna move. Oh, now you move. She moves at the last second when I'm freezing. Oh. Okay, so the horrible history. Oh yeah, the horrible history. So when I was a child, Thanksgiving was simple. It was about turkey and dressing, love and laughter, a time for the family to gather around a feast and be thankful for the year that had passed and be hopeful for the year to come. In the in the school, the story we learned was simple too. Pilgrims and Native Americans came together to give thanks. We made pictures of a gathering, everyone smiling. We colored we colored turkeys. I think that's how you do it in sign language. We made them out of construction paper. Sometimes had a mini feast in in class. I thought it was such a beautiful story. People reaching across race and culture to share with one another, to commune with one another. That is not the full story of Thanksgiving. Like so much of American history, the story has had its least attractive features winnow away. White people have been centered in the narrative, and all atrocity has been politely papered over. So let us correct that. What is widely viewed as the first Thanksgiving was a 3-day feast to which the Pilgrims had invited the local Wampanoag people as a celebration of the harvest. About 90 came, almost twice the number of pilgrims. This is the first myth. Then the first Thanksgiving was dominated by the Pilgrim, and not the Native American. The Native Americans even provided the bulk of the food, according to the Manitoba American Indian Council. This is counter to the Pilgrim-centric view so often presented. Indeed, two of the most famous paintings depicting the first Thanksgiving feature the natives in a subservient position, outnumbered and crouching on the ground on the edge of the throne. Pilgrims had been desperate and sick and dying, but had finally had some luck with crops. The second myth is that the Wampanoag were feasting with friends. This does not appear to be true. So this guy said in his book of Plymouth Plantation, which he began to write in 1630, that the Puritans had arrived in a hideous and desolate wilderness full of wild beasts and wild men. He further explained that after the visit to the New World by Samuel de Champlain and Captain John Smith in the early 1600s, a terrible illness spread through the region among the Native Americans continued. Modern scholars have argued that indigenous communities were devastated by leptospirosis, a disease caused by Old World bacteria that had likely reached New England through the feces of rats that arrived on European ships. This weakening of the native population by disease from the new arrival ships created an opening for the Pilgrims. King James Patent called this spread of disease a wonderful plague that might help to devastate and depopulate the region. Some friends, but many of those native people not killed by disease would be killed by direct deed. So as Grace Donnelly wrote in the 2017 Piece of Fortune, the celebration in 1621 did not mark a family turning point, did not become an annual event. Relations between the Wampanoag and the settlers deteriorated, leading to the Quoit War in 1637. In retaliation for the murder of a man, the settlers believed the Wampanoags killed. They burned a nearby village, killing as many as 500 men, women, and children. Following the massacre, William Bradford, governor of Plymouth, wrote that for the next 100 years, every Thanksgiving Day ordained by a governor was in honor of the bloody victory, thanking God that the battle had been won. So it was basically It was basically a fight that ended in bloody madness. And Thanksgiving is just a day to celebrate the victory of murders, of winning, you know, of winning some fight, some war over killing people. Is this really how you want history to be remembered as? I don't know about you guys, but I'm gonna try to do something to change that. 16, just 16 years after Wampanoag shared that meal they were massacred. This was just one of the earliest episodes in which settlers and colonists did something horrible to the natives. Which I feel like, I'm sorry guys, but I feel like I know this shame. Um, but yeah, they just killed them and stuff. But I'm gonna do another live stream after I draw some stuff during my music class. So bye.